Hello, this is Erin with the Joy in Pens and Paper, and I am super excited because my Hobonichi order is here. Yay, yay, yay. So I have this box that I am going to open up, and I'm going to go ahead and try to ask some questions as I do this because I'd love to get a little bit of crowd participation. So first of all, it is Thursday, September 12th at 4:41 p.m. I am home from work, just took my son to the pediatrician. He got his flu shot and his COVID shot in preparation for his upcoming surgery in a few weeks. And I knew that this Hobonichi order was coming, so I picked up some Prosecco, and so I have a little glass of that right here because I am celebrating that my order is here. I also have these little pumpkins that I made. I did a little crochet project, so I am working on covering my home with little pumpkins. So that'll be right here. All right, so this box, big box, let's get this open because I want to see the Hobonichi box. Has some bubble wrapping. Now let me know if you have any guesses to what might be inside here. Also, let me know if you have received your Hobonichi order yet, or if you are watching this because you're in your research stage. I'd love to know that as well. So this order is not just for me, it's for myself and 2 other people. The order total, and this was ordered right from Hobonichi, was $224. Oh, it's my color. It's a beautiful periwinkle blue. Oh my gosh. I have not been watching unboxing videos because I wanted to have this moment for myself. Look at the color. It's my color. I love it. And they have a little sticker that's a brown sticker with the HOBO on it. Oh, I'm so happy. So the order total was $224. I split it, like I said, with 2 other people. And we were able to split the shipping. The one thing, and I didn't notice this in past years, and this was also the first year that the prices were in US dollars as opposed to having to convert it. But there was a $10 customs fee. So the shipping was $40 and then a $10 customs fee plus everything we purchased equaled that total of $224. I paid for the custom fee and then let the 2 other people know what their contribution was to shipping. And I did less for each of them because their orders were smaller than my own. All right, so I have this stack right here, which I will get to. No, I'm gonna do the stack first. I want to save the box. Sorry. Okay, so I ordered some notebooks. I am a big fan of the Hobonichi notebooks. I love this pattern. I have some notebooks in this pattern already, and I also last year got a Hobonichi Hone. I actually really like that sound when I'm watching videos. Apologies if you don't. So yeah, I got a Hobonichi Hone in this pattern. I just think it's so beautiful. And this is one of the A5 gridded, 3mm grid Tomoe River paper notebooks. And you can see that there's different colors in the grid. So they actually have 4 different colors, which You could segment out the year into different quarters of the year, and each quarter of the year gets its own color section. So you have this reddish color followed by this blue color, and then this green, and finally a purple. This has been the same for their notebook since they came out with this notebook option a few years ago when it was just the orange cover option. You also could have, if you are a student or your life can be segmented into different topics or different contexts, you could assign each of those topics or contexts to a subject. I am one that tends to have some books that I'm reading or some research projects that I'm doing. So one of the things that I thought of too late this year is that in order to keep the notes for one thing together, I could have used those subject or those different colored areas. So I will be using that strategy going forward. So for example, if I'm reading a some kind of a self-help or professional development book, I could identify that for this first red section and take notes until I finish the book. And if at the same time I am reading an article for my dissertation, I could put the notes to that in the next section. And if I'm doing a training series, which all of these things were true this summer, I could put the notes in the next section. And then the good thing would be is that all the notes would be together. Right now I have my notes very bullet journal style, so they are in the order that I did them, which is not bad. It's still accessible to me, but I am looking forward to trying to organize that a little bit different. So I did pick up 2 of those. Both of these are for me. And then after I saw this cover, I saw this one, and I really loved the blues, and it just gives a little diversity. So I grabbed this one as well, making a trash pile over there. And so this is called Denali in the Midnight Sun #1. And they have the artist, which I don't know how to pronounce that, and I don't want to pronounce it wrong, so I will just continue to point to it. And again, similarly, this is the same grid, same color, etc. Now, with this style of notebook, I would recommend that you break in the spine, and you can do that by lowering each side and just running your hand along the spine, and then just take small sections of pages and do that same thing. And you just repeat that until you get to the middle, and then you're going to get that beautiful lay flat notebook that I love Hobonichi for. You can already see that it's laying nice and flat. So my next question is, do you have any of these blank grid A5 notebooks, and how have you used them? Do you use them as a journal? Do you use them for note-taking? Do you use them for ink swatching if you're a fountain pen user? Talk to me about your usage, and if you haven't used one before, can you picture yourself using a notebook like this? These are relatively inexpensive. Goodness gracious, I can talk. I think, and I don't see a packing slip, and I don't have something to look it up real quick, but I think these are under $14 a piece. And there's just so many pages. I love it. So that's the first 3 items in my order. Now the next one, I was so excited that Hobonichi added this to their lineup, and I was more excited that the cover was gray, because gray is my favorite color. So this looks exceptionally similar to the last 2 items that I opened up. Oh, that one's sticky. So very, very simple. I do like that it's gray on the front cover and on the back cover because even with this one, it has a blank back cover with the orange. It has orange on the front, and I think it's cream on the back. And I did get 2 of them because, again, they're just so inexpensive and such high quality. And I have some plans for this notebook. So this is a blank Tomoe River paper notebook. The pages are so beautifully thin. It's kind of an off-white color. If I can quickly find, I have a scrap piece of paper here. So here's a white piece of paper next to this. So it's very slightly cream. And it is just a blank notebook. All these beautiful, lovely pages of blank notebooks or blank paper. So I have been using a Galen Leather Co. Everyday Notebook with Tomoe River paper, and I have this much left to it. I've had this for about 2 years, actually 2 years as of today, maybe. I went to a pen show 2 years ago in September, and I picked up this notebook. And I've been looking at getting a new Galen Leather Co. notebook because I love this notebook. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this notebook. However, the shipping charges are astronomical. So where I was going to be placing a Hobonichi order anyway, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get that. So I will be breaking this in similarly as I did with the other notebook. Now you saw me break this one in, so you can see it pretty much lays flat. It has just a little bit of lift right there, but that will resolve itself in just a few uses. Yep. This one needs to be broken in. That's what it will do until it's broken in. So I will do that. Now the Galen Leather Co. notebook came with this writing guide, and it is a 5mm. If this came with a writing guide, it would be absolutely perfect, but it did not. So I will be using this behind the pages. You can see through and get that. But this will be my replacement for the Galen Leather Co. notebook. So I will be doing my ink swatches in here, my currently inked kind of memory keeping when I get new inks, when I'm comparing inks. I'm going to be using this notebook. And like I said, I got 2 of them, so I should be good for a while, which is my favorite. If you had this notebook, how would you use it? And did you see this on the website? Was this even something that you noticed? I did see they had on top of the blank, they also had lined. I just tend not to gravitate towards using a lined notebook. That's just not my vibe. But I did consider picking up a lined notebook for somebody that I thought might like it. I don't think I did, but if I did, it's in here. We'll see. I don't think I did though. All right, so here's my box. Now, usually with the Hobonichi box, they have a quote on the inside cover. So let's see, and they do. And they have started, or they do have it translated. So it's, before you think of anything, write, that made me happy. Don't ask yourself what made you happy until afterward. Then write down the answer, even if you really have to dig for one. You could also try, that made me sad, or that was delicious. I actually really like the advice of before you think of anything, write, that made me happy. Something that I'm working on personally. Ooh, that was close. This right now is being able to self-identify things about myself that I like. It sounds simple, but it actually took me about 2 hours recently to come up with 5 things. And the first thing was given to me by somebody else. So I think doing some journaling practice or some mindfulness practices and starting your sentence or your thought with that made me happy would be really helpful. Okay, here's the inside of my box. So there's some bubble wrapping. I don't recall past years having this bubble wrapping. I'm certainly not mad about it. I think it's great. So I did get a couple of the tools and toys, they call them, so that some different items. The first item that I got, and I'm just going to put this to the side so I can take each thing out one by one, is a double stick tape. So this is a really handy packet. I had gotten this a few years ago and finally ran out, but it just has these strips. Oh, and there's actually two sizes. Look at that. So there's a small size and a long size, and you can take one of these pieces off, put it on a surface, and then take this sticky back off, and that's where it becomes a double-side tape. This is really helpful if you're kind of trying to stick in some tickets or other ephemera into your journal or notebook that you don't want to lose. I have a tape runner right now from Tombow, and I still have a good amount of tape on it, but I was looking to get a refill for this, and before I looked at the Tombow website, I was on the Hobonichi website. They have a version of this, but it was sold out. And then I saw this and remembered, oh, I actually do really like those. So I picked that up. This, I should have grabbed the prices. I think this was around $3 or $4. It was very cheap. A lot of their toys and tools are really inexpensive. So I like to stock up on those. All right, the other thing that I got is something that I got a few years ago and is also just a few dollars. This is by one of their designers, Coco Fusion. And it's these really, in my opinion, very pretty page flags. And they are transparent. I obviously love this gray one. That is my favorite. And, you can see there's yellow, blue, and pink. I think the yellow might be a little bit brighter than the last version that I had, or my memory is just fading a little bit. But the other thing with these is you can pull them off of this, not even cardstock, but this piece of paper, and you can stick them inside your notebook for ease of use. So little fun tip there. All right, next up. Oh, okay. Sorry. I saw the size of, there's two of them, so I'll show this one. I saw the size of this packet and had a moment of, oh, dear goodness, did I order the wrong size? Then I opened it up, and this is the free gift. So when you buy one of the planners from Hobonichi, you will get a Uniball Jetstream pen. Let me open one of these up because one of them is mine. So this is the Uniball Jetstream. You can see it says Uni right there on the grip, and it says Hobonichi Techo 2025, and it is a 3 colors. So you have red, you have blue, and you have black. It has a very fine nib. I think it's a 0.38, which I really enjoy. And when you're writing in a Hobonichi, which has a grid size of 3 millimeters, it's really handy. I do have really quickly right here, I have some of the past years. So I have 2023. This year in yellow, they didn't notate the year, and I don't recall what year that's from. This one is 2022, so this might be 2021. It might be before then. No, I think last year was a sage green color, which I'm not seeing right here in my little setup quickly, but this is the color this year, so it's kind of this very bright tangerine orange, and a yellow. Comparing it to the yellow from past years, it's slightly less bright, slightly. So one of these each is for the other two people that I ordered with, so I'm going to put those aside. And this is also for one of the other people that ordered. So because I opened this one, I'm going to put this one aside so they get the joy of opening it. I don't want to be rude. Okay, so here's what was inside that shiny package. So it has this, it almost looks like bats, which I think it is because there's a bat pattern here and some clouds, a little bit of pink, and inside is a 5mm grid Tomoe River paper. So it's this cute little notebook. This is an A6 size. And just really quick for comparison, let me grab this notebook so you can see the difference in the grid size. So here's the 3mm, here's the 5mm. Oh, this paper. I love paper. Makes sense that my channel is titled Joy in Pens and Paper, because as much as I really love pens, I really love paper. And even the smell of this paper I really like. So that's a lovely free gift. They seem to kind of alternate years with having really functional gifts and really interesting gifts. Last year they were little canvas bags that were given as a free gift. There was one year that it was a little metal bear. Another year it was a tissue holder. So it's very fascinating. All right, so next up, this is something that I got for my son. He doesn't even know that I picked it up. I wanted to surprise him. He is in 7th grade. He has homework every day. But he also has an interest in fountain pens. So occasionally I like to surprise him with some really good quality paper just to continue to reinforce that interest with him. And so this is the 2025 weekly planner, and it's an A6 size. So starting the last week of, or the very end of 2024 and the first week of 2025, it does have times on the edge of each page, and it does go into the 24-hour time, so that would take him some adjusting. However, he is a student, so really the things that he's going to be perhaps writing here are not going to be very time-based because he's a 7th grader. So he's probably more going to focus on the 3 things that are due each day or that he wants to accomplish each day, and then use each column for the day for some different purposes. So this, like I said, is just every week. He also may, and I'm going to share these recommendations with him, but he may want to use each column as a way of journaling just to get into that daily practice, or gratitude or memory keeping. And he could turn it this way and write lengthwise. So you've got some options with this little book, but it is, again, very inexpensive. And it's one of the tools and toys, but allows him to get access to some good quality paper. Okay. Next up, this is, and I'm just going in order what's in the box, but this is an item that was purchased for one of the people that I ordered with. So this is the Hobonichi Day Free. I'm not going to open this because this does not belong to me, but it has the monthly spreads for, I think it's December 2024 through to March of 2026. And then it has dated blank pages. And being that they're dated allows you to use this very similarly to a bullet journal, but it has this line that goes down the edge of the page that's slightly darker. So when I've used a day free in the past, what I've done is put my time appointments in this smaller section, and then I do my rapid logging in this section. You could also do your timed appointments and your task completed and then do some journaling. There's a lot of different ways that you could utilize this day free, but that is one of the items in my order. Okay, now next up, and this is, I have two of these, one for me and one for the other person that I ordered with. I am, for the very first time in my Hobonichi journey, and I have been a Hobonichi user since 2016, I believe. So, goodness, 8 years. I got an Avec, and I really thought long and hard about this. And so here's the other Avec for the other person. So I'm just going to put that to the side. But I was using a day free in 2023. And then in 2024, I went back to a Hobonichi cousin, and they had launched the Hobonichi Hone. So I got a hardcover. And what I learned in that is the Hone, and I would have known this had I paid closer attention, but the Hone did not fit in the Hobonichi covers, the cases. And in 2023, I got this beautiful leather zipper notebook holder from Galen Leather as a gift from my husband, and it fit the day free beautifully. But then when I went to the Hobonichi Hone, that didn't fit into that leather zippered pouch. And so I've really had to kind of put that on the back burner this year. And that has not been my favorite experience. So I then realized I either need to go back to the day free or trial out the Avec. And because I do love the format of the cousin and the structure of having daily, weekly, monthly, I said, you know what, I'm just going to try the Avec. So went ahead and ordered it. Each year, that I've gotten a cousin, it comes with this little pamphlet of some sort, and it's different every single year. So this is The Mystery of Techo Mask. And there's QR codes. My son is very much into anime, so I am going to share this with him. It says, there's a treasure hidden inside you, superhuman strength waiting to be awakened. This is your potential. Watch it shine through bit by bit in the pages of your life book. It's more than you can even imagine. This charm, this spell, it's your potential. Cool. All right, so I will be sharing this with my son. He actually has a subscription to Crunchyroll, so he's got access to all the anime. All right, so here is the cousin Avec. It's separated out January to June and then July to December. It has this kind of neon-y green color for the January to June and a light blue for the July to December. When I've watched other unboxing videos in prior years, I always thought this was a yellow, but it's very much in person, for my eye, coming across as a neon green. So let's dive in. So each book is exceptionally similar, I believe, and I'm basing that off of videos I've watched. So let me just confirm. So you have your 2025 at a glance, and then you have your prior 2024, and then the future 2026. You have your 6 months at a glance. This one starts in January and this one starts in July. And this has the second set of 6 months. So you have July to January, and this has January to June. Actually, that's awesome. You would not get that if you got a traditional cousin. So that's kind of a plus. Then you move into your monthlies. This one starts in December, and this one starts in June. After you go through your monthlies, let's see how far this one goes until. This one goes until July. Then you're getting into your weeklies, where the first week starts on December 30th. One thing that I wish is, if you're going to have the first month be December and you're starting December 1, I'd love for the monthly to start December 1 so you can just really move into this book all at once. It is very interesting to me that they have the whole month of December when really the rest of the book is not set up to plan for that month really at all. So that's just my thought. Everyone's going to have a different thought though. The second half of the year goes June through January. So in the Hobonichi Cousin, Hobonichi Hone, the all-in-one year book, you would get a few extra months. So that's a little difference there. And this weekly starts June 30th. In the first half of the year, the weeklies go all the way through to July 6th, that last week of June, which covers part of July. And I love, love, love the weeklies. I love that it starts at 5 a.m. I happen to wake up at 5 a.m., so that's perfect for me. And then it goes all the way to 4 a.m. I certainly am often sleeping during this time, but I have seen some YouTubers use this bottom section for different reasons, whether it's as simple as washi tape or as complex as some habit tracking or meal prepping or different things like that. For the second half of the year, you've got that June 30th, and it goes all the way until January 4th. So that's nice. Now, both of them have this next spread. So this one says turning the page to a new year. And the other one says turning the page. So I think that's interesting. I like that. Then you've got your January cover page, which this is a blank page. I will often, because it's laying flat, use the grid that shows through as my guide. And I will often do my currently inked on here so that I have that to reference in future years. This has a blank grid page, and then you get into your July cover page, and here is a blank page right here. So I think that's interesting. I think that's very interesting that they don't have the blank page and then the first page of the month. It's just interesting, just commenting. All right, and so then you have your monthly pages. They do have a different color grid for each month, and those colors coincide with the tabs here so that you can quickly flip to different months. And I got the Japanese version. You can get a English version, and it has the quotes in English, but I also think the time is the 12-hour time zone. I have gotten so used to the 24-hour time that I'm perfectly fine with keeping it. And I like the character of having the quotes in Japanese characters. That, again, is something that I've come to know and love about Hobonichi. Now, flipping to the last day, June 30th of this book, there's then 1, 2, 3, 4 blank pages back here. Admittedly, I really rarely use these pages because I have so much anxiety about running out of pages that I just take the majority of my notes in other notebooks, hence the stack of notebooks that I purchased. They do have 2 timetables, which could be really good for a number of reasons. It could be if you have multiple children and you want to track their activities. It could be for myself where I have one child. I might put my schedule at the top and my child's schedule at the bottom. I might put my husband's schedule at the top and my child's schedule on the bottom. If I'm a student and I have a class schedule, this would leave space for 2 semesters. If I'm doing spring semester and then getting into summer semester, there's a lot of different ways that you could use this. You also could kind of map out your ideal day or week and what that would look like. And then they have a graph paper. I have, again, used this for a couple of different things. I've used it to track my mileage for running. And it has open scales, and it does have 2 scales, one on each side, so you could track 2 things on a graph. I've also used it to track my weight. I've used it to track my sleep. There's a lot of different things that you can do with this graph right here. They have a favorites where you can indicate what kind of favorite it is, give it a star rating, and a little description as well as a date. They have a top 100. I've used this to capture my 100 favorite moments in a year, and that was really fun. Actually, let me check. Do they have that in this one? That's awesome that you get 2 of them because you have the avec. So I really like that. Now, this is the downside when you have the Japanese version, I can't read any of this. So this seems like a number of different icons, but I'm not quite sure the intent or the purpose. I could certainly go online and look at that, but I have not yet. Do you know what this page is for? Please leave that in the comments. And a few more pages. Again, I am not able to read this, but this could be recipes. I'm not sure. Could be different. I'm not sure. And then it does have a gifts page where you can note if you received or gave a gift. And then it does have a reference for the year that you were born. Excuse me. And let's see. And it will tell you how old you will be turning in the year 2025. Yay. There's some calculation of distances or what is the word? I can't think of it right now. Sorry, I cannot bring that word forward. But they have distance, they have grams, ounces, pounds, height, and gallons. Interesting. Anyway, and then a little address book and some personal notes for you to give some information. Each Hobonichi Techo does have a serial number on it, so that's also really nice. And this kind of thicker cover. Just looking back through here, let's make sure this is all very similar. Gosh, that's very bright. I feel like that's a brighter red than it typically is. So this one has 2 blank pages, timetable, graph, favorites, my 100, the icons, And then these fun pages, gifts, addresses, and personal notes. And then a serial number. I am interested, is it the same serial number? It is not. Look how different those numbers are. Look at that. All right. These I will as well break them in similarly to the notebook so that they lay nice and flat. This will fit beautifully in my Galen Leather Co. zippered notebook. And I am one happy, happy, happy person. Oh, so happy it's here. So I will just kind of lay out all the things that I got. There was, and I can't remember what it is, but there was an item that I ordered that went out of stock before I was able to check out. But the fact that I can't remember what it is tells me it likely is not that important. So here's my haul. I am so happy. I don't ever want to rush time, but I really want to get to 2025 so I can dive into the avec. I am excited for my son to be able to use this. I am happy to have all the notebooks that I have because I love all the paper, and yes. If you made it to the end, thank you so much. Please don't hesitate to like this, subscribe. That's going to help get this out to other people. And please let me know what you received or what, if anything, you might want to add to your order. I could not be happier. It's my favorite time of year, waiting for my Hobonichi order. So with that, I am going to sign off, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.